Alright, time to do the finishing touches on my new planner. And I have a list to follow with my planner plans tab, so I found it easily. Some of the things I need to decide on is whether to put this border on the front. I should say this picture is from Kerrang magazine, and the photographer is Jonathan Weiner, and the guy is Cardinal Copia. So I'm not sure if this adds anything to the cover, but it is kind of empty with just the picture. I have used the same kind of border, decorative border, on my last one, so maybe I just asked my husband, because he has such an eye for these things, and he said, what's the worst that can happen? He doesn't understand. But since I'm thinking about it, it will probably happen anyway, sooner or later, so let's put it there. And it's made for hair. You're supposed to put it in your hair, but I found that it really sticks. I mean, this hasn't come off, even though I've been quite sort of rough with it or whatever. So what you do is, let's see if I have some, sorry if that deafened you. You need water. You pull off this plastic and you put the thing upside down. Where do I want it? Along this line, I think. There. Let's see, I don't remember if this is the correct way of doing it, but I think so. So I'm going to, not that one, this one, okay. Some clean water. Is it straight? Never mind. Again, what's the worst that can happen? So just brush water on the back of this, and it's supposed to stick. And it has done the last couple of times I've done it, so hopefully this will work again. Even though this time I'm gluing it to paper and not to the directly onto the cover. I don't know what it's made of. Some kind of plastic, I don't know. So hopefully this will work out just as well. And if it doesn't, I'll just cover it up with something else, some other kind of border. Ah, look at that. Yes, perfect. But for one thing, it's a bit too long. Okay, can I just rip it off with my fingernails? Yes, I can. Well, that wasn't too bad. Maybe I'm going to put this on top. Maybe not. I might put it on my May cover page instead, which is what I'm going to do next. Just trying to find some scrap paper. And it is a good idea to paint the cover before I fill in the calendar on the inside here, because otherwise, if it gets really wet, it can run the dates and my deadlines and all those things. So I'll start with the cover. And May is red, in case you didn't know. In my synesthetic brain, it is. And don't know if I have any red water. Yes, perhaps this one. So I'm just going to start by covering the whole page with red. Now the question is, do I want the other side to be red as well? The pocket side of this, because if I do, I should be a bit, I mean, if I don't, I need to be careful so I don't accidentally make it red in the margin or in, you know, the crease here. But perhaps I will want both pages to be red, but I can't decide until I've tried out just one side. I think that's I mean, this is my amateur analysis of introverted sensing, but I sometimes feel that because the introverted sensing is my third function, so it's not super sophisticated. And I often need to try things out, you know, physical things like painting and, well, what's it called, layouts. I need to try them out physically in order to decide, you know, I need to see it and then change it, and sort of it's a process. I think some people just know, like maybe extroverted sensing people, they just know will work. Maybe other people, maybe people who have introverted sensing as their main function. I don't know, but I just feel like I can never do anything, you know, spontaneously. I always need to try things out and retry, and I can't just think my way through a physical project, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's the base done. And of course I got some red on the other side. It doesn't really matter, does it? I can live with a few drops of paint on my calendar. Right, so now I have to wait for this to dry, and after that, let's see what more I had to do. I've put the border onto the cover, and nothing else. So yeah, I'll just have to wait for this and then migrate some things. So the next thing I want to do is to migrate everything in my calendar. So I have this little fold out because I want my monthly, you know, the date boxes or whatever to be full size. So I might cut this off later and make a line in the middle of this box and have Saturday and Sunday, because I almost never have anything on my weekend schedule. But we'll see. I'll start like this and see how I like it. And as you can see, I don't have day 31 in May on this spread, because it will be part of my June, well, the week 22 has only one day in May, and I prefer to have the weekly in June. And since, I mean, I really hate it when calendars divide a day, you know, a weekday like this, when there are too many days in a month. So you get 31 here and you only get half a box. So I'm trying this out. I'm going to put day 31 on June's calendar spread. I think that's a good sort of compromise. And I'm using red because red is the color. The cover is red, the tab is red, the dates are red. A few things are gold just because I like gold. So yeah. Next up, the tracker. Let's see. I'm going to copy it from my current journal. So I'm going to put the dates here down this side and the moon phase. "31 days, and it's a half moon on the 3rd. There's a new moon on the 11th. Waxing half moon on the 19th and full moon on the 26th. Now I am going to change some things. Do I want to? Yes, I want to. Let's see. Oh, sorry, don't talk with your mouth full of pen. I have two trackers where I want to track. Sorry. How I feel when I wake up, how I feel in the morning, you know, before lunch, how I feel after lunch, and how I feel in the evening when it comes to energy level and knee stability and pain. And this is where I draw the weather. I draw symbols for rain, sun, snow, wind, and clouds, cloudiness. And I have one column where I track my sleep, and here I will put, I take my own temperature every morning. I'm not sure which, I need two boxes because I have decimals and I just can't write the whole thing in these, but I think I'm going to leave room for something else. So that's the column for sleep and 2 boxes for the temperature. Yeah, great, great, great. So my habits on this side. First, my cleaning habits. No, my health habits first. And there are different exercises I do, and this is breathe. I used to do yoga, but it fucked up my knee, so I'm not doing it anymore. I think it also fucked up my hip, actually, so fuck that. But I do want to keep the breathing habit, to do that kind of breathing, because I think it was good for me, so that's why I put breathe on my habit tracker. Let's see, voice memos, that's its own column, and then I have cleaning. And for the cleaning I have clean the bathroom, do the laundry, wash the dishes, hoover or dust, something to do with dust. Clearing things away, just moving things around in the house, putting it where it belongs, and wet wiping something. So those are my different areas that I try to do every day. Normally, April, not so much. I'm keeping this blank for comments, like if I want to put that I had a headache, or that I snoozed, or that I had a lot of sugar, or whatever, So, yes, I guess that is my tracker done. So now I'm moving on to the project boxes. And these boxes are for home projects. So, actually I should have painted the back cover. It might run if the page gets wet, but those things happen. So in these I'm putting birthdays this month. There are a lot of birthdays this month. And they all begin with M for some reason. I also put the week where we pay our bills. Okay, so those are the only home projects I need to add. There will be a lot more on this side, my work projects. Yes, so I'm going to fill in my calendar now, which is always a bit scary because, well, you can make mistakes. And that's the end of the world. So again, I put all the birthdays on the actual day, because on these boxes it was just the week, and the point of having them there is that I can see it whatever weekly I'm on. But of course I want to know exactly which days are, when the birthdays are. And actually on my calendar, I only use this color for home stuff. Bills are brown for money and paperwork. That's the color for that project. But on this, I mean, I mostly use the calendar for work stuff, so in order not to confuse myself with even more color coding, I keep one color for home projects and only use different colors for the work projects. So this is what my calendar looks like when I've just filled in my personal stuff. But that's going to change. Yeah, let's fill in all the work stuff. Okay, so I'm going to summarize the deadlines and important stuff, projects from these weeks on the calendar and put them in the weekly boxes here so that I can see it from my weeklies. But I'm not going to do it now because now I have everything I need to know, so I can do this on Sunday before next week starts, because I can't be asked right now. But I do want to set up June and July perhaps also. And this is what July looks like, so I can wait with that. There are some things in August, but I will just put post-its for those things. Because I don't want to count out the pages right now, since then I have to decide how to set up June. So I want to try out my May layout before I do make the June booklet, because if I don't like having the next action spreads inside the cover, I won't do it again, so it will take up fewer pages. So if I draw the calendars for July and August now, based on how many pages I need for May, and count out the same amount of pages for June, and then I change my mind, I need to move them around. So since there isn't much, there's not a lot planned for those months, I will just wait until I've tried this out. So this next bit, I sort of dread it, which tells me that I am not exactly clear on everything, so it's probably a good thing that I'm forced to do this. The project section. I kind of dread doing this because it needs to be structured and yeah, I don't know. I need to think when I do this, and apparently I don't like thinking. But I will start with my master project list for work for the rest of, well, the rest of the spring until my vacation. Okay, so that's my master list done. And I won't set up all of these now, or will I? Maybe I will. Ugh. But not all of it needs its own spread. And the problem is, one problem was not being clear about what, like this. I had to rewrite some things because it wasn't correct in my old list. But another thing is all those someday maybe things that I've written in my current project section, should they be migrated into this one, or should they be migrated into the someday maybe binder, the really long-term thing? And I think yes. And I think instead of rewriting everything, maybe just cut this out and put it in the someday maybe binder instead of rewriting it, because this book is messy and sort of ruined in a way anyway. Maybe do that with all of them. Maybe. Or just rip out some pages with someday maybe stuff on it. Why not? Because I won't be using those project spreads anymore. They're actually, oh, look at this. It's they're actually the tear-outable pages. They're meant to be ripped out. So I'm going to put those in the binder. So that wasn't too bad. Next one, next project is green. And I'll only put the things that are still left to do. Alright, so I haven't made project spreads for every project on my master list because I don't think I need them, and it's just a waste of pages to write things that I already know that are in the calendar or somewhere else. So let's have a look again in my old planner. I have migrated those things. But I have some personal projects to migrate, and this tab means that this is the work project section. My work next action tabs are also black and white with different patterns depending on the type of context. And home, the home project tab is pink and gold with roses on it. So in the project section, I have the same tab in the middle of the book, but I'm not going to start my master list and project spreads from the middle. I'm going to work my way backwards from the back of the book because I don't know how much space I'll need for work or home respectively. But in order to easily flip to the section where I have my home projects, I put the tab in the middle, because if I put it where I have my pages, I need to move it every time I use a new page, So now I'm just, it's a placeholder. So, this I'm also dreading. Migrating the knee exercise program. So the question is, do I just I would like to just rip them out and glue them in again instead of redrawing everything. And I can do it with this one because there's nothing on the back, but there are things on the back of this that I might need. Or do I? Not really, actually. So maybe actually just... Or do I draw them? I mean, maybe it's not that hard. There is the... that one. And the... It's just that there are... Like this one. I'm currently doing this one. They're harder and harder. So I can't do this one yet, and I really can't do these ones. So I want the whole... Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm going to rip this out. Actually, I'm going to cut it out so I don't ruin anything. I was too careful. Because it's just too much hassle to draw these. I mean, I want them to be correct, you know? I don't want to draw something and it's not perfect, because this is my health we're talking about, so it needs to be perfect. What about the next one? Maybe I can... Yeah, I'm going to cut them all out to begin with, and then maybe... Oops. Well, that wasn't very straight, but maybe I can make a booklet that I glue in, you know, so this one is glued onto the page, this one is glued onto that one, and the final page is glued on the other side. Because it doesn't matter if, I mean, this will make the book flop open, what the hell, on this page, because it will be bulky. But that's, what? That's actually a good thing, because I do this every day, so it's good to have. Well, it's easy to find if the book flops open in the same place. But I do need to transfer some stuff into the Someday Maybe binder. That's on the back of this, and I can't show it because people might see it's about birthdays. Right, so I won't draw it myself. I'm going to glue it in. And I'll I've got used to this layout and these pictures, so I understand them quickly when I'm in the middle of my exercise program. If I redraw these figures, it might take me, you know, a second to decipher them, which is not much, but it's just easier to have the same spread in this book. And I mean, the more you can simplify your well, your planner, your use of your planner, the more you can. I mean, I try to do layouts where I don't have to think about the actual layout, you know. That should be sort of it's a non-entity. That's why I have the same weekly spread every week, the same calendar spread, because I don't want there to be new information pertaining to the structure, because there will always be new information about you know, the contents will be new all the time. So it makes it easier for my brain to understand what is new and what isn't if if everything else is constant. Maybe if I put a piece of tape. Not loving it. I wish there was a magnet that held this page in place. Maybe if I photograph this and print it. Okay, so I printed the back of the knee exercise. I can't do things and talk at the same time. I printed this and now I'm going to glue it in. Simple as that. It's a bit dark, but it doesn't matter. I can read it. So this is the tab. Looks very different. No matter. I will hopefully not have to migrate this again for quite some time. Maybe I'll even be, I mean, I probably will be using a new exercise program by the time this project section is finished. When I've finished using it when it's full. At least that's what I hope, because if I change my exercise program, that means I have become stronger and more stable in money. I have my May booklet, oops, and the front cover of my June booklet, and a calendar spread, but nothing else, just placeholder tabs for the other months until December. This one Oh, a little bit wonky. So, time-specific section with the next action spreads within the booklets, random section for journaling, project section with my work spreads, and my home section with home spreads. Finally, it's just the spine that looks horrible.